Hi, my name is Stacey and this is the Heartmoor podcast. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and a big welcome if you're a new viewer. It's nice to have you here on this incredibly dreary, rainy autumn day, which I absolutely love. I love rainy days, not when I'm out in it, but when I'm inside, cosy with my knitting. I love a nice rainy day. Today is half term in England, so I'm off work because I work in a school, which is good. So today is Tuesday. I'm gonna have to count now because I absolutely know what day I have absolutely no idea what day it is. 24th of October. So yeah, we're well into the middle of autumn, past the middle of autumn, nearly in winter, not long to go. In fact, on the 1st of December, my Christmas duvets will come out and my Christmas tablecloth, because, you know, I take them all off at the end of December. So if I'm not going to get them my money's worth from them, then there's no point in having them. So not long till the Christmas stuff comes out. Yeah, my name's Stacey and this is a knitting and crochet podcast, mostly knitting, sometimes a little bit of crochet. I live in Devon in the southwest of England with my husband and my 3 beautiful daughters, one of whom has just turned 16, one is 10 and one is soon to turn 9. So they keep me very busy. And as I said, it's half term, but I don't have the children here. My mum has signed up for some Halloween crafting session at her local community hub. And so I've dropped the girls off to hers and she's taking them down to do some Halloween crafting today. So, and I'm not picking them up till 3, so that's pretty damn good. Yeah, I love having my kids around and I love half terms and the holidays when they're home, but I also just like a tiny bit of a break from them. Right, so today, this podcast won't be as long as some of my others because I haven't left it quite so long. I think our last podcast, end of August, beginning of September I think it was, when I last did a podcast. So yeah, it's not been that long at all, which is unusual for me. So I don't have as much to show you. Let's start with what I'm wearing. So I am wearing my Lakes sweater by Ozetta. I finished this, I think I showed it in my July podcast. It's a really oversized, chunky sweater, saddle shoulders. You can see better on this side, you can see the saddle shoulder, folded over collar. Yeah, it's quite oversized, as you can see. There's loads and loads of positive ease. And it's just my cozy cream sweater that I shove on with jeans. Yeah, I shove it on with my jeans or over a dress, and it just keeps me super warm. And this was knitted in Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. It's cream. I don't know if the colourway is called anything else. I don't have any here. But yeah, so that's what I am wearing. Okay, so I have one finished object to show you. So last time I was making Christmas sweaters for my girls and I'd finished the navy and pink Christmas tree one, and I was working on one for my youngest. That is now finished. It's not blocked. I'm doing that this afternoon, but it is all the knitting and the sewing in the ends has all been done, so I will class that as a finished object. And this is, do I have any? What is this? This is the Festive Yoke Kids Pullover by Skeindeer Knits. I don't know if I've got a picture of it. I don't normally print out the first pages. Yeah, that's it on a baby. But I'm making it for a 12, well, I'm making the size 12 years old. She'll be 9 soon. I just want it to last. It's a Christmas jumper. I'm not making one every year. So I need to make it so it fits for several years. And it's one of those jumpers that comes with lots of different motifs. So you can pick and choose. And now I've got, you know, I've bought the pattern and I've got, I think there was about, I can't remember, about 16 different motifs that you could put on. So yeah, so I can knit Christmas stuff again and again and again. So here it is. As I say, it's not been blocked. It's beautiful. So it's in this lovely cream, which is Drops Lima. have I got a label in here? Yeah, so it's in this cream, which is Drops Lima. The lighting isn't great in here today, I'm sorry. But that's the standard cream, and it is colourway Drops Lima, and it's in colour 0100. But I'm pretty sure it was called cream on their website. They do label them on the website, but not on their little labels. And that's, yeah, so that's the sweater. And the purple colour for the motifs, for the colour work, is a Blue Fern Yarns colourway. And it's one of a pink. It's called Pink Purple One of a Kind. And it's on her 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And the Drops Lima is 100%. It's not 100% anything. It is, oh God, the label's folded the wrong way. It's 65% wool, 35% alpaca. And this is it's a bit of a mess. Hang on, right, there we go. It's still attached to like needles in the bag. And this is the beautiful purple that we used. So my daughter didn't want a strong contrast. She chose this. Oh, there's the needles I'm after. I need those in a minute. She didn't want a strong contrast. So obviously it's quite sort of, you know, it's quite hard to see. But we have, so it starts off with this little, like, it's hard to see when it's such a low contrast and it's not blocked. With this like little almost snowflakey type motif. Then we've got reindeers, which hopefully you can see. Then we've got that sort of snowflake motif again. And we've got snowman, then that motif. And then we've got Christmas trees. The Christmas trees have, oh yeah, they have like a little star in between them. So we've got Christmas trees and then the little snowflake again at the end. And she picked the motif she wanted. I could have just gone on all down the body. I could have carried on down the arms, but I was done. I was done. By the time I'd done all of that colour work, I was like, no, let's just do the body in cream. So it's really, really lovely. And obviously this will all block out quite nicely. There's not any really long floats. There are some where it's over 5, like the snowman's body and stuff like that. I'll show you my floats because I know people sometimes like to see those. So there's my floats. I generally catch if it's over 4. So 5 or more, I would generally catch my floats. There was 1 or 2 where I missed it, but when I was sewing in my ends, I just caught those and picked up the odd float. But yeah, I say she's only 9. I did knit it slightly shorter in the body and the arms than recommended. I think I was supposed to do 13 pattern repeat, 13 decreases in the arms and then keep knitting, and I did 11. And it's still long on her now, but I figured, you know, if she gets to 12 and it's a bit short on her, I'll just undo the ribbon, knit a bit more ribbing, or knit a bit more on the arms. It's not the end of the world, is it? And the body's a really good length on her. So again, if she decides that she's going to grow loads, I'll just add a bit more ribbing on the bottom in a year or 2's time. So I can't imagine the chest isn't going to fit because that is knitted to the size 12. So and the only sort of thing that, I don't know if I did it wrong or if it was probably me, but when I split for the sleeves, my beginning of round stitch marker didn't seem to be in the right place, and I didn't notice it until it was too late. So this is so you can see the back of the sweater, you can see the short rows, but the short rows are a lot wider here than they are here. And on the front, you've got a big wide bit and a thin bit. So this here should be the front center, and it isn't. You can barely notice it when it's on, you know, because it scrunches up around the neck, and she's got her hair that covers it, and yeah, you're not going to notice it when it's on. And it is still higher at the back, so it still achieves the same job. It's not perfect, but I'm not a perfectionist when knitting for myself or my children. I'm just not. I'm a product knitter, not a process knitter. So frogging back is not something I particularly enjoy or want to do, and I avoid it wherever possible. So yeah, but we have 2 finished Christmas jumpers. My eldest isn't getting one this year. I just don't have the strength to knit her one as well, but maybe she'll get one next year. Take those needles out, I'll put those away in a minute. So yeah, so that is the Festive Yoke Kids Pullover by Skeindeer Knits. And that is my only finished object. I've been a bit monogamous. Sorry, my hair keeps... I'm going to have to try and stop touching it because it's really irritating. I've been a bit of a monogamous knitter lately, so I just do sort of work on one project and see it through to an end. I do have a couple of, like, sometimes if I'm not in the mood for like colour work or a sleeve, then there is a couple of little things I can pick up. Okay, so that's it for finished objects. So works in progress. I have I have 3 and 1 that's about to start. So I have 3 works in progress. So if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you'll remember that last Christmas I cast on a Christmas sweater for myself. And it's the Fallow by Michelle somebody, and I can't remember who it is because I haven't got the print out of it. I lost the print out because I put it on hold for a year, and now I can't find the paperwork, so I'm just working off the PDF at the moment, and I'm using my phone to record. So I'll put it on it'll all be in the description in the notes below, which you can find underneath the title of the podcast. But this is called the Fallow. It is on Ravelry, and this is my Christmas sweater. So I've picked it back up again. I want to get this finished by the 1st of November. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So here it is. Oh, it looks so good on camera. So yes. Oh, so good. I think I'm knitting the 4th size. That's generally what I knit. So this is the Fallow, and it's got this beautiful sort of long collar, which looks beautiful, which is lovely. Then it's got this fabulous reindeer pattern, obviously, that goes all the way around. Fabulous, look at those. And then I'm on the ribbing. I've got about another inch to go on the bottom ribbing, and then I will pick up for the sleeves. This is being knitted in 2 giant cones of Holst Supersoft in the colourway Cranberry, of course, because that's such a perfect Christmas colour. Holst's, oh, it's beautiful. Look at that beautiful sort of, yeah, it is a real cranberry colour. You can see that there. And I got 2 cones because I'm too lazy to wind off and have ends and stuff. So I've just literally got 2 cones to knit from, and I'll have plenty left to make myself another sweater afterwards. Yes, so this is in Cranberry by Holst Supersoft. It is a rough feeling yarn when you knit with it. It's got spinning oils and things on it. I quite like that. I find that it, I love this colour. I find that it helps me grip when I'm knitting. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I'm holding it double to create like a DK weight. So yeah, but I know when it washes, it softens up over time. I've knitted my, I showed you on the last podcast, my Whitmore cardigan is knitted in Holst Supersoft, and that's really softening up the more I wear it. So I know that the same will happen to this. The reindeers are knitted in an undyed alpaca, fluffy alpaca. So I just wanted a really different texture to this sort of matte cranberry, and then I've got like these fluffy reindeers. So yeah, they're knitted in just an undyed alpaca. I can't remember, I bought that Chester wool or something maybe. I don't know. It's an undyed alpaca anyway. And you can see those. I'm going to have to be, these are my floats if anyone's interested. I am going to have to be careful when washing this because I don't want the colour to bleed. I'm quite conscious that this is a really rich colour, and obviously this is white, so it will be washed on cold with no aggravation at all. I might use a bit of washing up liquid because I've heard that can really soften the Holst Supersoft, but I'm conscious that I don't want the colour to bleed, that the colour of the washing up liquid to affect the reindeers either. So it might just, I've run out of wool wash, so I may just have to get some wool wash. Don't they look good? Don't they look really good? This is going to be such a good Christmas sweater. I can't wait. So I want to finish it by the 1st of November so that I can wear it whenever I might have to be attending a Christmas event. So yes, yeah, I've got a little, I'll show you my little progress keeper that I'm using. This is, oh God, you can't even see it. Can you see that little embroidered sheep? And that's from Bobbles and Berries. and I love her stitch markers. They're incredibly light, actually. I quite often find stitch markers to be really heavy, and I don't use them very often because I find they pull. But it looks quite big, but it's really, really, really light, and it's this beautiful sheep, embroidered sheep. So that is my primary project at the moment. That's what I'm working on when I sit down, and whenever I'm sitting down watching telly or the Rugby World Cup. Oh, let's talk about that later if anyone wants to talk about that. We won't talk about that right now. But yes, so although having said that, I'm I'm a very open All Black fan. So I'm very happy that New Zealand are in the final because I've been supporting them since I was 8 years old. But obviously I would have liked England to join them. But anyway, this is what I've been knitting on largely at the moment. Work in progress number 1. Number 2, I showed you, I can't remember if I'd started this last time. I think I'd started it. But this is the Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. I don't know, I don't think I've printed off the picture. I tend to save my paper and ink and only print the exact stuff. I'm sure many of you have heard of this pattern. Gosh, there you go, I can show you that. And there's a picture of the Musselburgh hat. It's in black and white, so it's not particularly helpful. But basically you knit a big long tube, like a big long, so you knit increases, knit a big long tube, knit decreases, shove that end inside that end, and you have a beautiful dome hat. And I'm knitting this for my husband, and this is my pick up and put down knitting because it's a very clever pattern because you can knit it on with any yarn, any gauge, any size needle, all that kind of jazz. And she gives you all the figures, so you just have to measure what your gauge is once you've started knitting, and then you work out how many increases and things you need to do. So I'm knitting this on a Woolyknit. Put this side, the colour seems to be better this side. Woolyknit cone. This is in the colour charcoal. It's 100% British wool from Woolyknit. It's a dark colour, but it's got a little bit of variation in. I know you can't see it that side. It's got a little bit of variation in, so yeah, really, really nice. And this is where I'm at so far. So yeah, I've still got quite a way to go, because if you think that's probably there, and I've got to do probably down to here to maybe, yeah. Anyway, you get the gist. So there's my increases. It's really hard to show this because it's like black. You can see sort of like the cross of the increases there. And I am down to here. It has got quite a loose gauge. So this is a 4-ply yarn, and I'm knitting this on 3, I can't actually read it. Where is it? 3mm needles. So obviously it's not as tight as a sock. So I can see, you can't see it on here, but when I look closely, if I hold it up to the light, I can see through it, but it's going to be doubled thickness, isn't it? And then the brim again. So it's going to be absolutely fine. And because it's 100% British wool, it's going to be super warm for him. I've got no target time to finish this. I've certainly not like a Christmas or present or anything. But it would be good to have it done sort of by January when it starts to get a bit colder here in England. So, and in February, we are going on a trip to Copenhagen. So I definitely want it finished by then so he can wear it where it's hopefully going to be very cold. So that is my Musselburgh, and that is my round and round, don't have to think about project. And that is in my London bag, London baby. And this one is by GB Rousseau's. I should remember that. I don't use project bags very much. Most of my things just lie around on the couch, and that's by GB Rousseau's, and she's on Instagram. My next work in project, my last work in progress, is the Christmas socks that I'm making for my girls. I haven't made much progress on this because I've been focusing on the jumpers, but I have made a little bit. So my plan is, let's just make sure I don't lose a needle here. There it goes. So I am knitting every year I knit all our family Christmas socks. There's normally a theme to it. So last year we all had sparkly socks. One year we all had DK socks, another year they were all self-striping, so I tend to sort of make a theme. This year, so we're all having socks in this lovely grey yarn, and this is Cascade Heritage Superwash Merino Nylon. Cascade Heritage, and this is in the colour 5631, so it's like this dark charcoal grey, which is really nice. And I'm mixing that up with various leftover sort of stripy yarns. So I've got, yeah, all sorts of various self-striping yarns that have got leftover bits on them, and I'm using these to knit up these socks, and you will see what I mean. And here we go. So here is the first, here is the first one. So it starts off, I've done a nice long rib, then I've done a chunk of grey, a chunk of stripe, a bit more. This is the heel, so this is the Magic Heel, is that what it's called, by Automaker Knits. I thought I'd try that this year, so I'm hoping it might last my girls a little bit longer rather than doing a set in heel that's a set length. And I'm on the foot and I'm ready to do the toe actually. So yeah, it's striped here at the beginning. Turn it around this way. It's striped here at the beginning, then you've got the heel and it's striped here on the foot, and that'll be the toe. And the idea is that I will do a different sort of stripe for each member of the family. I do have a Ravelry project page for this, so I should have said that at the beginning. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Heartmoor. And I'm mildly active on Instagram, but I do keep my project pages up to date on Ravelry, and I have listed on Ravelry, I've sort of broken down how I've done each stripe. It's not a finished project. Can you see partial projects? I don't know if you can see them until they're finished. I've never tried. But when I finish the socks, if you have to wait till it's finished, then yeah, I've said how many rows I've done here. So if anyone sort of wanted to replicate what I've done, I've detailed all that in the sock project page. So I just need to do the toe, cast on the second one, and then another 4 pairs to do. But I don't give them out till Christmas Eve, so I have got time to do that. And they don't take long really, especially not the kids ones. My husband and my daughter might get shorties because they got big feet. I will just have to see how my time allows, and yeah, go from there. So that is that's my last work in progress. So as you can see, not so much as normal. Oh, and I'm knitting those on, I should probably say. I didn't give you any details, did I? Absolutely rubbish of me. I always knit my socks on DPNs. I just can't get on with Magic Loop and small circular. I do enough garments that I use plenty of small circulars on garments, so I don't do it for socks. I knit, these are on 2.5mm DPNs. I have quite a tight gauge. So yeah, these are on 2.5mm DPNs. And I cast on, so this is for my 9-year-old, and I cast on 52 stitches. I always use the numbers from the Rhyolite Socks pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's a free pattern, and the numbers for socks go up from sort of baby to right through to big adult. So for casting on and for like my gussets and things like that, gusset decreases or my heel turn, I always use her numbers for socks. I might do a slightly, so this is 52 stitches. I might do 56 for my 10-year-old. I do 64 for myself, and I will probably do 72 for my husband and my daughter because she's got quite wide feet. So that's the detail. And I don't know what this yarn is. Some of the striping ones I can remember what they are, but a lot of them I can't. And I have absolutely no idea which one this is, but it's beautiful. It's kind of pooled. Can you see? It's like on this colour you've got like the orangey reds, and then on this side you've got the greeny blues. So it's pooled a little bit, but it's a sock, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter. So that's the details of that one. Okay, our next project. So this is what I'm casting on next. So this is a little bit of an acquisition as well. So I recently discovered the Raw Wool Company, who are based in Cornwall, and they don't dye their yarn, so their yarn is all natural colours of the sheep from around them. And they recently advertised that a local farm to them, apparently every year they get some of their fleece, and they it's a farm not far away from them at all, so the whole thing is all locally sourced. It's really close to me in Devon, so it hasn't travelled far, so the sheep have been born, grown, sheared, spun, skeined, whatever it is, all the way through, within a very short, what's the word? In a short mileage. That's not the word that I'm thinking of, but you know, where something doesn't have to travel far to get to you in a commercial way. That's the word I'm looking for. So this is 100%. So I saw this online and I ordered 2 skeins of it. So it's from the Raw Wool Company. And this one is called Soft as Sea Mist. It's beautiful cream. Really, really beautiful. It's called Soft as Sea Mist. It's an 100% undyed British Dorset DK. Yarn in the colour Sheep Intended. And I love that. And I'll just read the blurb off the back. So yeah, it's 100% British Dorset DK. 100 grams is 220 metres or 240 yards. It's woolen spun in Cornwall. And it says, in fields overlooking the sea in West Cornwall, Steve, aka the Salty Shepherd, keeps his flock of Dorsets, whose wool boasts a soft and voluminous character, making it a sought-after yarn from the UK. Single origin, raw wool, giving you the whole story. So I love that. So I bought myself 2 skeins of this. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with it when I bought it. I just know I needed it, and it smells of sheep so good. Like, so bad it's good. Like, love the smell of this. It's quite rustic feeling, but you'd expect that. It's going to be really, really sturdy. You can see it's got no drape at all. Like, not at the moment. It's full on up there. And I have caked one of them up into this lovely cake. Look at that. It's not a very neat and tidy cake, but look at that. Look at those holes. I love this kind of cake. And I am intending to make, and I will put a picture up here, the weekend hat, is it, by PetiteKnit? I think that's what it's called. I want a ribbed cream hat for Christmas, and there are so many on Ravelry, and I wanted to branch out a bit, but I just kept coming back to PetiteKnit. I did look at the Stockholm sweater hat, but I think I want the double folded over brim to make it super thick, super chunky, big cream ribbed hat that will go with any coat that I'm wearing, completely neutral. And this is going to look really, really good on my head. Can I just drop my bag? Yeah, look, can you imagine that as a really nice like beanie? I'm glad I don't do profile pics. I'm glad I pick my own profile pics and I don't let YouTube pick it for me, because this would be a really good one. Anyway, that is what that's going to be, and that's might be cast on today if I can find the needles that I found in the bag just now. I think are the needles I was looking for. So I think I'm going to cast that on with a 3.75 or a 3.5 the pattern recommends. I might go 3.75 if I've got the right needles. Sorry, I'm just picking up what dropped. And yeah, cast that on and see how I go. It's a bottom up 1x1 rib, nice and simple. And that is it for my works in progress, finished objects. I have had a couple of acquisitions because I haven't bought anything all year round, and I got money for my birthday, and then I've just sort of been saving a little bit, and I thought I would treat myself. So yes, this was these 2 skeins were an acquisition. I also got a voucher for the Fibre Fox from my lovely friend Cherie, who is Ollie and Bella. I'm sure you know her. And she got me a voucher for my birthday for the Fibre Fox, and I pre-ordered, and it arrived the other week, this gorgeous skein. Look at that pink, and if you see it, let me show you close up. look at all of the speckles in there, the browns, the yellows. Really, really beautiful. And this is called Feyre, and it's, look at the drape on that, see the difference between these two skeins. Anyway, that's got one hell of a drape. And this is her rustic fingering in 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen and 25% silk. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this at all. It might become colour work. I have no idea. It's just like, oh, so beautiful. And yeah, this is called Feyre. So this is from her Court of Thorns and Roses spring collection. The summer one, I'm hoping she's going to soon release the individual skeins for summer. And I don't know if you've read the series, you might have done, might not have done. I absolutely loved them. And I want to collect the main characters sort of from each one. I didn't get Tamlin, I didn't like him. But I got Feyre from the spring court. And I will get one from the summer, and I will get one from the autumn, one from the winter, and I might get the whole box from the night court, because the night court is my favourite, but we will see. Anyway, so this is my skein of Feyre, and I'm going to be adding, not using this anytime soon. I want to wait till I've got a full collection and see if I do something with them all together. I have no idea. So that was that. And then I have one other acquisition here. I've got two that haven't arrived yet, which I will tell you about in a minute. So I don't know if you've heard of Nutiden yarn. It's an unspun yarn from Sweden, Finland, Sweden maybe. I can't remember. I can't remember where it's from. And I've never knitted with unspun yarn before. And back in February, I did. Nutiden do like a collection every sort of three months or so. They do like a collection of yarn. They do maybe 5 or 6 shades, maybe 6 or 7 shades, and they sell out quite quickly. And like I say, it's unspun yarn, so I'll show you what that means in a minute when I show it. And in February I bought a beautiful dark grey one, which I don't think I've shown on the podcast, but I was going to show it when I knitted with it, so that's upstairs. And I do have plans to knit that into like a vest, a tank, whatever you want to call it, but I need to get some mohair to match it, so that's sort of on my list, because with the unspun, you either really need to knit it double or knit it with a mohair so it doesn't break too easily. And I wasn't going to buy any more from them until I'd knitted with that to see how I liked it, whether I got on with it, how it felt on my skin. But then they announced this colour in their last update in September, was it? And I couldn't resist. So I bought 300 grams. It comes in this lovely bag. Lovely bag, it's a paper bag. And I could not resist. Look at this colour. Oh. It's like a pillow. I could actually use this as a pillow and fall asleep right here because it's so soft and lovely. And this is unspun yarn. This is in the colour Amantia. I don't know. I've got some more in here. It's 300 grams. That's not necessarily 3 of these, 3 100-gram skeins. It comes however it comes. And so I can find an end to show you. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Yeah, there's an end. So yeah, it's this beautiful red colour. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's going to be a garment of sorts, and I've got to find a mohair to match it. But basically, unspun yarn is this. It is as it says. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that at all. You can see it's an unspun yarn, and it just breaks like that. But what you do is you just, she says, it's all broken all over the place now. I've got bits everywhere. What you do is you just put the 2 ends together and just rub it. You can split slice it, but I think with this stuff you just need to rub it, and you just basically just rub it back together, and that hasn't worked. It will work, I just haven't rubbed it enough. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. And then it just rejoins like that. So I have 300 grams of this as well, which I'm super excited to knit with. I think I'm gonna have to be careful knitting with it because obviously of how easily it breaks, which is why it's a good idea to hold it with a mohair for the strength, mohair, silk mohair. But yes, I couldn't resist, so I've got some of this just to add to my stash until I can work out what I'm gonna make with that. So that is all the knitting stuff I have to show you today. My 2 acquisitions that haven't arrived yet is I ordered, and this isn't knitting, this is sewing, but oh gosh, Sherry Iris has the Selvage Chronicles, which is like a slow stitching podcast and Instagram channel, and she does boxes every month of just bits and bobs of fabric, ribbons, lace, buttons, all sorts of little things all put together, and you just and you always get like a blank background that might look different every month. I think you always get like a blank base, and the idea is just to slow stitch, make a collage of whatever you want, and that represents that month, and then you can either put them together in a bookmark, or you can in a binder and have them as like a book. You could frame it. You can do whatever you want. So I've ordered the October one of that. I'm waiting for that to arrive, which is exciting. I've not done slow stitching before. I'll show that when it arrives. And I've ordered a homespun house. So Molly from a homespun house. I haven't ordered her Advent, but every year she does 4, like you get 4 skeins to open over the 4 Sundays of Advent. And I hadn't got myself an Advent at all this year because I'm going away on a knitting wool retreat in a few weeks. So I didn't let myself buy an Advent, but she's done, I think you can have 120 grams or you can have 70 grams. So I've gone for 4 70 grams of Molly's Advent, Sunday Advents. So obviously that's not going to arrive just yet. I think that arrives sometime in November, obviously, ready for December. So I'm excited to that. I've never had any homespun house yarn before, so excited to receive that. And yeah, as I just mentioned, in less than 3 weeks, I'm going on the wool retreat with Lay Family Yarn every year, and sort of put on these knitting retreats, knitting, yarn dyeing, cake eating, whatever else, socialising sort of retreats. And me and Cherie are going up from Plymouth. We're meeting up with a few other friends, knitting friends, and yeah, we're going to spend the weekend up in Ironbridge in Birmingham, knitting and eating and shopping, and yeah, having a really, really delightful weekend, and yarn dyeing. So I'm really excited about that. I've not been to anything like that before, so I will let you know how that goes. I will probably, my next podcast will be after that, so I will feed back on how that went. So I'm quite excited. And we've got a nice long train journey, about 5 hours up to Birmingham. So we're just going to get loads of food from the shop, sit on the train with our knitting and just knit. Yeah, so it should be good. And yeah, so knitting related, that is everything. I mentioned on the last podcast that I read quite a lot, and someone commented, I said, you know, if anyone was interested in me talking about some books, then I would. And someone said, yes, please. So I read a lot of fantasy. Oh, if you're not here for the books and the life stuff, then thank you very much for watching. I should have said that. And goodbye, and I really hope to see you next time. Please like and subscribe. I am just over 500 followers now. I think I was on 500 at the last one, and I think I'm on 503 now, so my next target will be 1,000. But thank you so much to everyone who subscribes, and if you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Yes, on to books. So yeah, I read a lot of fantasy romance books. I'm quite picky. I have to read the reviews, so I'm on Goodreads. If anyone wants to follow me, I'm on there as Stacey J Lew, Stacey J Lew, and I'm quite picky, so I do read the reviews. I don't like love triangles, cheating, anything where the romance doesn't work out. I don't like it. I can only read a book where the romance is, I don't mind a slow burn, and I don't mind a little bit of, you know, haters to enemies to lovers. I don't mind any of that kind of stuff. But there can't be sort of other people interrupting the romance. So I will stop reading a book if that happens, or I won't read it at all if I see that that's in the reviews. So I'm quite picky, but I do like a lot of fantasy romance. I've read A Court of Thorn and Roses. I've read most of Sarah J Maas's books. I've read Jennifer Lamontroe. I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. With From Blood and Ash series, and I've read a couple of other her series as well, which I really like. I've just finished 2 series by Stasia Stark, and that's Stacia Stark, Stark. And I've just read a couple of series from her, and I absolutely loved them. I cried actually in the last book. In one series I actually cried, and if a book evokes an emotion for me, it gets a 5-star. Otherwise I tend to hover around 3 or 4 stars. It'll get a 5-star if I've been emotive. So I could highly recommend her as an author. And sometimes I like to read a bit of Regency as well. But yeah, so the Stasia Stark ones are the ones I've just finished. A Court That's Cruel and Lovely, that was a really good series, and I've just read the From A Deal with Demons series, and that's the one that really got me, and I really loved that. So if you're looking for your next fantasy romance book, I would recommend her. Yeah, life stuff. It's been a really busy few weeks. My daughter turned 16 a couple of weeks ago, my eldest, and she had a party with her friends, which actually it wasn't too bad. I just went upstairs, and once we did a barbecue for her, and we had lots of sort of non-alcoholic ciders and non-alcoholic Prosecco's and things like that, and they just chatted, they played a couple of games, they watched a film, and that was really easy. It's probably one of the easiest parties I've ever had, so that's a bonus. And then on her actual birthday, we saw some family, and then we went out for dinner at a local Caribbean restaurant, which was really nice. And she had her first alcoholic drink ever. She's never wanted to try alcohol before, but she wanted to try a cocktail. And in England, once you turn 16, you're allowed to have an alcoholic drink with your meal in a restaurant. So yeah, she had a cocktail which she liked. And then last weekend we'd arranged, I'd organised back in sort of April for all of our family to meet at a local Haven caravan site down in Cornwall. It's our favourite one. We go there every year. Well, we try and go there every year. Obviously there's been some hiccups with pandemics, but we try and go there every year. And we arranged for our family. So there were like 7 of us that had caravans all dotted about the site. And we didn't tell her we were doing that. We told her we were going to the caravan site, but not that we were meeting up with family. And we turned up at the bar that evening, or the restaurant, and they were all sat outside and sang happy birthday to her, and she was nice and surprised. And then we just did lovely walks on the beach. We went to the arcades. We all met up for dinner on the Saturday night, where we did a big cake and sang happy birthday to her, which she hated. Oh well. And yeah, so it was a tiring weekend, and then we were back to work, came back late Sunday evening, straight back to work on school on Monday. So it's been really tiring. So I'm super grateful for half term. Don't have a lot of plans this half term. We've previously had cats and dogs, and they've all passed on. So we feel now that we are ready for another pet. So our last pet died 3 years ago, just before COVID started. We feel that we're ready for a pet, so we've been to the cat's home and we've registered, and we've put our name down for a potential couple of cats that meet our criteria. So I'm waiting for the cat's place to maybe give me a call and see if those cats might be suitable to come and live with us. So that would be really exciting. I'll have to pack my knitting away a bit more than I do now, but there might be a little bundle of joy cuddled up. And the next podcast I won't be wearing my knitting, if that's the case, my hand knitting. I'll be wearing an old jumper. So yeah, if not, we will just keep looking and keep putting our names down when new cats come available. We've got, what else are we doing? We're going back to Cold Harbour Mill next week. So back in March, April, maybe Easter time anyway, there's a woolen spinning, a steam-powered woolen spinning mill in Devon, in Tiverton. It's called Cold Harbour Mill. They are on Instagram. I do follow them. And I posted a little sort of montage video and got some yarn from them back in April, and they're doing a big Halloween event on Sunday, so we're going to pop up there and take the kids up. I might buy some yarn, I don't know, I've got to try and save my money for the retreat. I might buy 1 or 2 skeins of something, something, I don't know. So going up to the Cold Harbour Mill on Sunday for their big Halloween steam event, so the kids are excited about that. And then on the Monday, next Monday, me and my daughter, she's got a non-pupil day and I've got an extra half term couple of days, so we're going up to Exeter, and I'm going to see if I can find along Avec Anna's shop and pop in there, and I might get some mohair to match my Nutidum, my grey one, and try and knit my vest. So that's the plan. And then yeah, it's just Christmas, and then I've got the weekend away, and then it will be very, very nearly Christmas. So I hope to be back on here podcasting before Christmas. That would be good. I expect it will be towards the end of November. Again, we've got so much, like my daughter's birthday's end of November, so it's really busy, but I will do my best. And yeah, thank you for watching. Again, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Tell your friends, if you know, whatever. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.